Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Grizafi and we are on 11.04 geometry. This is a lesson on density. So we're going to do two problems. They're kind of longer problems and there's a lot of conversions involved in them and they're mainly focused on density problems. So number one says the average amount of pasture needed to feed mature mules is 1 acre per mule. So you have to have 1 acre for every mule that you have. A farm has 3 rectangular fenced pasture sections. So one of them is 100 feet by 300 feet. Another one of them is 150 by 500. And the third one is 250 by 400. I'm obviously not drawn to scale here. So these are used for grazing. 6 mules are being adopted from a rescue program. The farm does not have sufficient pasture space to support 6 mules according to the 1 acre per mule guideline. If there are 4,560 square feet in 1 acre, what is the least amount of additional square footage of grazing land that we will need to fence in to meet the guideline? So first we need to figure out, number one, how much grazing pasture land do we have now? And how much do we need? Well, we need 1 acre per mule. So if we have 6 mules, then we need 6 acres. Now, one issue is we know the square foot, or we can find the square footage of each of these pastures, but we're talking in acres over here. So we need to get everything into a common ground. So since all of these are in feet, I think it's going to be easier to convert acres into feet to figure out how much we need in terms of square footage. And then we can find out how much we have. So let's start with how much we're going to need. So if we have 6 acres, we're going to use our picket fence method here. So I know from this right here that in 1 acre, there's 43,560 square feet. So I want acres to cancel out. So I'm going to put acres on the bottom and I'm going to put square feet on the top. So I know there's 43,560 square feet in 1 acre. So now I made my line a little bit too long here. So now I'm going to multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. The bottom is just going to be 1. Our acres cancel. We're left with 261,360 feet squared. So this is how much square footage we need to have. They want to know what we have to add on. So now we need to figure out what we have. Okay, so this was the first part. We figured out how much we need. Now we need to figure out how much we have. So each of these is in feet, right? So we could find our square footage of these by multiplying length times width to find the area. So find the area of each pasture. So the first one, we've got 300 times 100, so that's going to be 30,000. 500 times 150 is going to give us 75,000, and 400 times 250 is going to give us 100,000. So we're going to take those 3 areas, 30,000, 75,000, and 100,000, and add those up together to get total of 205,000 square feet. Okay, so we have 205,000 square feet. We need 261,360 square feet. Okay, so now step 3 then, how much, what's the least amount that we need to add? So we're going to take what we need and subtract how much we already have. And that gives us a total of 56,360 square feet for your final answer. So we figured out how many square feet we need by converting acres into square footage. And then we found out how much we had by finding the area of each pasture. And then we took how much we need and subtract from that how much we already have to how much more we need to add. So, we need to add, oh my goodness. It all just disappeared. Oh, and we're back. Technology does some weird things sometimes. So we need an additional 56,360 square feet to be fenced. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is talking about a kitchen. So a kitchen was remodeled and granite countertops were installed. A regular island in the kitchen now has, a granite top measuring 5 feet by 8 feet by 1.2 inches. The density of granite is 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter. How much granite top on the island? How much does the granite top on the island weigh in pounds, round to the nearest tenth of a pound? So we've got a lot of different units going on. I see feet, inches, grams, centimeters, and I want it in pounds. So we need to really get everything into the same unit here. So first, let's focus on getting all of this into centimeters because we're going to use the density to figure out how much it weighs. So if we can figure out the volume of this island, then we can use the density to find how many grams the island is. And then we can convert the grams into pounds. So first, let's work on getting everything into centimeters. So convert to centimeters. So I'm going to take 5 feet and try to get that. So now if you use your reference sheet from the Regents reference sheet that I've showed you before, take that out with you right now and I'll post that as well. But you'll see on the top section there again, it'll tell you your conversions that you can know, and it'll tell us that there are 2.54 centimeters equal to 1 inch. So if I can get feet into inches, then I know I can get inches into centimeters. Well, that's easy enough to do because we know that there are 12 inches in a foot. So I want feet to cancel, so I'm going to put feet down here, which means I'll put inches up here. So I know there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And that'll get my feet to cancel. And then I want to convert inches into centimeters. So I'm going to put inches in the bottom, centimeters on the top. There's 1 inch and 2.54 centimeters. So now my inches cancel, left with just centimeters. I'm going to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom, which is just 1. So I get 152.4 centimeters. Okay, let's do the same thing now for 8 feet. So we're going to take 8 feet. And we're going to convert that. So I'm going to put feet on the bottom, inches on the top. There's 12 inches in 1 foot. And there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. So my inches cancel, my feet cancel, multiply straight across the top, and I get 243.84 centimeters. And the last one I need to get from 1.2 inches to centimeters. Well, that one actually should be a little bit faster because we don't need to we're already in inches. So now I can just use the fact that 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. I want inches on the bottom so that they'll cancel out. Multiply across the top, and I get 3.048 centimeters. So now I have everything in centimeters. So I want to find how much this weighs. So I need to use the density to get there. So the density is 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter. So I need cubic centimeters, which means I need volume to find this. So I need to find the volume. So if we're talking about a island counter here, that means we're talking about a rectangular prism. So it's 8, actually let's label this in our centimeters. So we have 243.84 centimeters by 152.4 centimeters by 3.048 centimeters. Obviously, it doesn't really look like a kitchen counter, but it's a rectangular prism, we know. So now to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we're going to do length times width times height. So I'm going to take 3.048 times 152.4 times 243.84. And I'm just going to put those right into my calculator and multiply those together. And I get 113,267.3864, and this would be cubic centimeters. So that's the volume. I need to find how many pounds. So next, I'm going to use the density to do that. So if I know there's 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter, and I know there's this many cubic centimeters, option 1 is just multiply 2.7 times that, and that'll get you your answer. If that's the easiest, fastest way to do it. But if that doesn't quite make sense to you, you need a little more concrete, then try setting up a proportion. So we've got 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter equals, we don't know how many grams, but we do know that the counter has 113,267.3864 cubic centimeters. And then you can cross multiply. So you do that, it's the same thing. You're multiplying by 2.7, dividing out your cubic centimeters, which is going to give you how many grams you have. So you should get 305,821.9432 grams. And we're still not done yet because we were asked to find how many pounds the island weighs. So now we need to get from grams to pounds. So looking on your reference sheet again, see what they tell you. Well, they tell us that, and I'm going to kind of jump back up here. I took a little too much space there. So I know that in 1 pound, there's 0.454 kilograms. Okay, well, this is good news because you guys talk a lot in science about converting between grams and kilograms. So we can do that. Get it to kilograms and then convert it into pounds. So 2 options here again. Option 1, you could take this, and this way is probably a little bit faster, and say, well, this is grams, and I know I learned it as King Henry died drinking chocolate milk, but I think you guys, something like kittens hate dogs unless dogs can meow. And maybe I think you put a U in here, if I remember, students told me. Maybe. Anyway, here you're going from your grams, which is your unit right here, to kilograms. So you would move your decimal 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3 places to the left. And then you could convert into pounds from there. Or you could take, this way is a little bit longer, but will get you to the same place. So that's our kilograms. And you could say, well, I know that there is 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Again, 3 places over. And then I want 1 pound is equal to 0.454 kilograms. And I put kilograms on the bottom, so those will cancel. My grams will cancel, and I'm left with just pounds. So now I multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. Put that in your calculator. Should give you 173.616615. And again, we're only left with pounds. And it said to round to the nearest tenth of a pound, so that would be 673.6 pounds for our final answer. Pretty heavy. Okay, so a lot of work to get to that answer, but all things that you guys are capable of doing. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I hope you're staying healthy, having fun, doing math dances, and I hope to see you guys soon. I miss you, and pie out.